Hey, how's it going? Jeff Bode here. I'd like to show you a little training video. Um, for the most part, this theme is pretty straightforward. The documentation is pretty good, so you can usually figure out pretty much everything from the documentation within the theme. So, for those of you that are new to WordPress, you're going to need to learn how to install WordPress. I'm not going to get into that because for the most part, most people know how to do that, and there's a ton of information that's free online which also shows you how to do that. So the first thing you need to do is pick which theme you want. You go to Appearances and Themes, and then you're going to select Install Themes, and you're going to select Upload, and then you choose your zip file for your theme. Click Install Now, and that's going to bring up a message that's going to ask you to activate your theme. You select Activate, and your theme will show up on the top here, and it will be activated. So once you've done that, then you're going to want to go in and make some setting changes depending on the style that you want for your website. Now there's a ton of different options for this theme, so what I'm going to do is just go through a few of the main areas that you need to check out. So under the Appearances, you're going to go to Theme Options, and that's going to bring down a bunch of options here. For the most part, all of this stuff on this page is pretty straightforward. Like I said before, there's documentation that helps you to easily understand everything that you need to know about what settings you're changing. So you can scroll through there on your own and kind of figure things out. One thing I want to mention is the ad blocks, the shortcodes for the ad blocks. So basically, you can set up to 5 ad blocks here, and basically you could copy and paste your AdSense in there. It could be a banner, a clickable banner from an affiliate program. However you want to monetize your website. It could be an Amazon ad, and then what you do is you're going to use one of these little shortcodes here, like that one says ad code, and then it says a number, which would be 1 through 5 depending on which ad block you're using, and then the alignment. Do you want to align it in the center of the post, on the right, on the left? You just basically copy that little bracketed area and paste it into your post, your page, your text widget, or even your footer, wherever you want to have that ad block. And that's all you really have to do, and it's going to show what's ever in this box here. So make sure you select Save Changes when you make these changes in here, and that's about all in there. You can pretty much figure it out on your own. So over to the Advanced options under Appearances, we have, as you can see here, a preview of what the theme looks like. That way you don't have to go back and forth and figure out what your theme looks like. You can instantly figure out what type of changes have been made by scrolling through the main screen here. So the first tab here is Page Templates, and this is basically just documentation about how to choose the page templates, which I'll go over here in a minute, just to give you a little bit more information about it. These are also about page templates. Basically, the sitemap options, how to set up the sitemap. For the most part, this stuff's pretty easy. Once you read through it, once, maybe twice, if you get a little tripped up, then you're going to figure it out. Going over to sliders and thumbnails, the slider is a little bit confusing. You need to install a few plugins to get it going. So I'm going to go through that in a minute here. There's also documentation on the thumbnail images, and again, more information about the page template and sitemap. So we're going to select everything else here, and this part is a little bit confusing. This is where you change your header options, meaning you could have a background image or a header logo, which you can select here. You can select dynamic text, which means that you have, the regular title and tagline that you put in to WordPress when you installed it, or you can select a logo image, which you'd select there. Make sure that you check this box to use this header modifications. If you don't check the box, it's not going to show up. So make sure that you do that. So after you check that box, you select logo image, or leave it how it is. Then you go in and enter the size, the pixel size of your logo image. And then you select where your logo image is within your site. If you haven't uploaded the logo, then go to Media and select Add New, and then add it in there, and then use that location and paste it into here. And notice that you don't need to paste the entire location. You just paste where it is from within your site's directory. So put in the pixel numbers, and then you need to select the margin values. You need to enter in all of these values. So something like 20, 10, 15, something in there for the top pixel value. The rest of these can be 0 unless you want to move them left to right. But you must enter in all 4 of these boxes in order for this to work. So make sure that you're at least entering a 0 inside those. The widget area kind of works the same way. You select the dimensions of your widget. So if you have a big widget area, maybe you have a big banner that you want to have on the header of your website, then you type in the size there, and then you need to select all 4 of these boxes and enter in one of the values in there. The big value that needs to be modified at the very least is the top value. The right value is something that you usually want to modify as well, but it's all personal preference. So however you want it to show up, then that's what you're going to enter in here. It's basically aligning it from a central location, and then it kind of aligns it relatively to that. So enter in all that information, click Save Changes, Save Settings, and it will bring you back to the preview so you can see where is your logo, where is your header banner. Now the banner won't show up right away until you enter it into your widgets, which I will show you that in just a minute here. So going back here, other information about using the shortcodes, the 404 page, whatever you want to put in the 404 page, so that it doesn't just say the normal 404 information. Maybe you have a page on your site that you want people to go to. You could put a link to that page. There's a lot of options there. There's a nav bar search. It kind of works the same way as the header graphic, which means that it's going to show this search box within the navigation menu. This is just general information about how to use thumbnail images. Sometimes you need to install TimThumb and contact your web host if you have any trouble getting the images to show up, and that goes for the slider as well. So if you have any trouble, then contact your hosting provider and kind of tell them that you're having trouble installing images, or figure out what you need to do. Read this information. Custom CSS is where you can change the styling of the website. You can make modifications, meaning you could, for instance, change the font, change the margin, border, background. So if you had a plain white background and you wanted to change it, then basically you just change that color there. You could also use images and things along those lines. So you'll figure it out. For the most part, this stuff is not too complicated. When you read through the documentation, you'll figure it out. There's the WordPress 3.0 features. Don't worry about this stuff too much because most of it you can do within either the CSS builder, or this stuff is a little bit more advanced. So if you're comfortable with editing things, then go for it. If you're not, then you might want to just skip on learning this part. Anyways, basically what you do is check that box and install your background images, and this one is for the header image. So make sure that you know what size the header area is, or whatever, so that your image looks right. And again, use the preview option to figure out exactly how to make that header image look right. So we're going to go into widgets now, and one thing I want to mention is there's a lot of widgets here. The header widget area is the one that you're going to use for your banner, or your in my case it's a banner. In your case it might be something different. So basically paste the code in the link for your banner and put that in a text widget, and make sure that you put it in the header widget area. And again, the image dimensions need to be the dimensions that you chose within that advanced options setting. Click save. This stuff, like sidebar, default, blog post, simple text, that stuff you really don't have to worry about too much, but you can play around with it on your own and figure out a little bit about how it works and what exactly it changes. So the primary and secondary widget area, these are going to be your traditional sidebar widgets, and as you can see, there's documentation here that explains a little bit more detail about what each widget does. There is there's 4 widget areas for the top of the sidebar, or top of the website, and these are going to go across. So if you only want one big widget area to go all the way across where your post the main content is, then you're just going to put in one widget. If you want 2 of them to share that area, then you put in 2 widget areas. So you can have up to 4 of them there, and then you could have 4 on the bottom as well. And then in the footer area, you can have 4 going across as well, which spans the entire length of the footer. So that's pretty straightforward. The other thing I want to show you is how to set up a page template. There's a lot of different page templates. So basically, you go into Pages and Add New. You select your template, any of the templates in here. So if you wanted homepage style 2, for example, we're going to select that. We're going to name our page whatever we want. And then we're going to select Publish here. Now, once you select Publish, it's going to bring up this box here. And this box allows you to go through, basically it shows you a preview of what the template actually does, so that you can figure out which type of template you want. So if you decide, I don't really want that, go and select another one from within this drop down box here. And then it basically gives you customization from there. And it has documentation here, so you can kind of figure out what each thing does. So if you check that box, then it's going to have that wide content area. This information is going to depend on the template that you use. Another thing I want to show you here is, let's say I select a different template, select upload, and what it's going to do is basically give me different options here. So it's going to give me a preview again. Notice how this one is a little bit different, and then it has each thing based on the difference there. So then you're just going to enter in all this information, and go from there. Another thing I want to mention is the sidebar location. Now, you need to make sure that you check this box in order for this to work. Basically, what it does is allows you to choose one of these options for the sidebar. So you could have no sidebar. If it's like the main page, you want no sidebar. You could have right sidebar, a left sidebar. You could have two sidebars. So basically, select which one you want. And you can also change the sidebar dimensions. So however wide you want each sidebar to be, you just put that in there. And most of the themes are going to be 7 or 800 pixels, 7 to 900 pixels wide. So select something within that range is going to, a traditional sidebar is anywhere between 100 pixels and 300 pixels, just to give you an idea of what types of dimensions you're going to want to select for these. There's additional options here as well, which is basically is basically self-explanatory, showing you if you want to use show the link to the post in the menu. If you want to have a top or bottom widget, so maybe you don't want to have a top and bottom widget, you just uncheck those. So basically, it gives you a lot more customization features to really customize the page exactly how you want it. So once you have maybe you want to have a template for your home page. So let's say I want to use this magazine 1A for my home page. Then I'm going to need to go to settings, and I believe it's reading. Yep. And then I'd click static page, and I'd just select that home 2, which is the title of the page that I created, and select save changes. And that's going to change the default home page to the home 2 home page. So if you want to go back and make changes to that home page, you're just going to go to all pages, and then you're going to edit home 2. The last thing I'd wanted to show you was the sidebar. So what you're going to do is go into plugins, and you're going to add new plugin. You're going to add this, you're going to search for this plugin, JJ NextGen jQuery slider. You can also use other sliders as well, but this is the particular one that I use. So you need to install this slider by basically going in and searching for it. And then you also, in order for this slider to work, you need this NextGen Gallery plugin as well. And if you forget the name of this plugin, you can actually go into the advanced settings or the advanced options, and it will tell you under the slider category what plugin that we use. So it will show the JJ NextGen jQuery slider. And then you're going to go into plugins, add new, and these plugins are free, so you don't need to upload them. You can just search for them, put it into the search bar, and like I said, you need both of these plugins. So I'm going to add that NextGen Gallery plugin and install that. For this particular slider, I need both of those plugins for it to work. The slider is optional, but make sure you click Activate Plugin. So now I have both of these plugins. I can go in and edit my slider. So once you install the gallery slider, you're going to see this gallery option, and you're going to see Add Gallery Images. And then basically you need to name the gallery whatever you want it to name or want it to be, and make sure you kind of remember this name because you're going to use it when you create your slider. Select Add Gallery, and then you're going to basically just select the images that you want, upload them, and make sure that you select your gallery. So my gallery was example. Upload the images, or select the images, upload them, and then you can move on to using the actual slider. So we're going to go back to Appearances, Widgets, and we're going to select the home page left widget area, and we want to install the JJ NextGen jQuery slider, which is usually going to show up in here. See, it's right here, and it says again, make sure you have the NextGen gallery. Drag that into the homepage left widget area, and then it's going to bring up these options. Most of the options you can leave as they are. You need to select your gallery, which is the gallery we just created was example. So I select example. You can select the order. Most of this stuff is self-explanatory. And then there's also Nevo slider settings, which is a little bit more advanced settings. You don't really have to mess with this stuff if you don't really want to. The main thing is just selecting your gallery and then saving it, and you're all set. Alright, so hopefully you have everything you need. If you need anything else, I'm going to show you where my help desk is. Go to cashquickstart.com/helpdesk and just submit a ticket there, and we'll do our best to answer your ticket in a timely manner and help you out with whatever you're having trouble with. So thanks again for watching this video. Hopefully that clears up any issues that you have. I'm Jeff Bode, and I look forward to working with you soon. Thanks.